Hello everybody, it's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we've got a Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors game reaction. The first night of our back-to-back against the Toronto Raptors ended in a loss, and there is a lot to get through with this loss. I would say, once again, a fairly frustrating loss. I feel like a lot of these games we're in it, we have chances to win, we come back, all these things, but we just can't seem to get the job done in the fourth quarter or the third quarter, and at the end of the day, it is fairly frustrating, but we'll get into all of that in this video. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the overall game that Chicago Bulls played. Who's your player of the game? Just your overall thoughts and opinions on, I guess, how well the Bulls played in this game. We lost this game 113 to 104. Again, relatively frustrating loss, and the Toronto Raptors came in with pretty much the perfect game plan to stop the Chicago Bulls. Basically, every time Vooch or DeMar, mainly DeMar, got the ball, double teams galore, throwing bodies at him left, right, and center. With their length as well, it was very, very hard for them to find open passes and open lanes and everything like that. And it just proved to be a very difficult task overall. I would consider this game a difficult game for the Chicago Bulls, especially with that game plan. DeMar couldn't really get involved. Obviously, Vucevic had a nice game, I would say, but again, even he, to an extent, did have some struggles in this game as well, and I felt like the Bulls didn't match the physicality of the Toronto Raptors. And what I mean by that is that, obviously, the points in the paint difference was huge on the Toronto Raptors side. They got a lot of points in the paint. Obviously, they were taking it to the paint. Our paint defense is lacking right now with small ball and whatnot. Vucevic not being the best paint defender. So Toronto took it to the rim constantly, all the time. Very, very few times did you see an Anunoby or a Fred VanVleet 3, but they made them when they took them. But for the most part, it was just going to the basket, going to the basket, going to the basket. And the Bulls didn't match it. The Bulls didn't go to the basket themselves for most of the time. They stuck to the perimeter, they stuck to the three-point shot, and the Bulls are not the best three-point shooting team. So I think we can all see the outcome of that game and kind of how it went. We had to play a very similar style to the Toronto Raptors. We have to be physical as well. If we don't match Toronto's physicality, you're going to see what you kind of saw in today's game. You're going to see turnovers, you're going to see, I guess, guys getting bumped off the ball, you're going to see a lot of reach-ins and stuff like that that causes to turnovers. You're going to see a lot of that, and we didn't respond well to it, in my opinion. I don't think we matched Toronto's physicality well, and obviously with the game plan they had on the defensive end, it was a very difficult game for the Chicago Bulls. But hopefully, in the next time out against Toronto, that game plan won't necessarily work as well, because we should have Zach LaVine back in that game. Zach LaVine is a very good shot maker and shot taker as well, and he's obviously one of our best players, so I don't see them being able to double team three guys as soon as they get the ball. It's not going to work like that. So that means guys like Ayo could probably have a better game, guys like Pat can have a better game, guys like Caruso can probably shoot better, because I thought outside of that he had a terrific game. And those guys can maybe get a little bit of an easier time, and maybe we can walk away with the win. But without Zach LaVine, this game proved to be very, very difficult. And I know I said there is no excuses for the Bulls to lose this type of game, and I stand by that. There is no excuse. Pascal Siakam is out, Kem Birch didn't play as well, Zach LaVine, Andre Drummond, Kobe White didn't play. Both teams are struggling with injuries right now, and I don't see that as an excuse. We lost this game because the game plan for Toronto was better and they were more physical. That's the only reason why we lost this game. And if we can bounce back from that, we can improve our physicality, we can rebound better as well, we will be able to walk away with the win, I believe so, in the next time out. But it does come down to that. We have to match their energy, we have to match their rebounding, we have to match their phicality. If we just let them be the dominant team, the physical team, the team that's going to get offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, the team that's going to attack the paint, we just sit in the three-point line the whole time, we will lose, because we're not a good three-point shooting team. We are inconsistent at best, and you have to rely on three-point shooting to beat that type of team, unless you take it to the paint. Vucevic, I think, did not enter the post anywhere near enough times as he should. Again, he's the only real 7-footer. Yes, the other center that they had a very good game, very good blocks, but there were a couple of times where Vucevic was on and he could have done more, in my opinion, in terms of the paint production. But so can everybody else. I'm not just targeting one player here. I actually feel like my must improve is basically going to be the entire team. But let's move on from that. I want to look at the rebounding stats real quick, because I just recently saw it. We got out-rebounded by 10 today, and I feel like damn near every single rebounding opportunity that Toronto had was an offensive rebound. I'm sure they killed us on the offensive glass. I don't know the exact stats, and maybe someone else can find it and put it in the comments below if you wish, but we got destroyed on the offensive glass, and it doesn't take statistics to see that. If you watch the game, you could tell. So many putbacks, so many offensive rebounds. Small ball, again, really, really frustrating to see, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But the Bulls have to rebound in committee. The Bulls need to make a valiant effort on the glass. There are too many 50-50 balls that go to the Toronto Raptors side. There are too many putbacks. There are too many offensive rebounds for us to win the game. And obviously, their second chance points, I'm sure, would absolutely have killed the Chicago Bulls as well. So we've got to do better in that avenue as well. But now, let's talk about the small ball situation. Small ball is really frustrating me right now. And I know a lot of people will say, but the small ball lineup brought us back into the game. And they did. The small ball lineup in that third quarter brought us back in the game. We got a couple of good stops, a couple of good threes. Dalen Terry came in. Shout out to Dalen Terry. Had a great game, great energy. And I think he made a very big difference in the game in terms of the energy side and the defensive side. Shout out to Dalen Terry for that. And the small ball lineup brought us back to within 3 points. But that is what the small ball lineup is supposed to do. Come in for 5 minutes, potentially 5 to 7 minutes, make an impact in terms of the small ball lineup, and then go bigger again. If we continue to persist and persist and persist as a small ball team, coming off that bench with no Andre Drummond, you're going to see the exact same outcome almost every single time. The small ball line will have 2 to 3 good minutes, maybe 5 good minutes if they're really, really good on that day. And then we're going to get out-rebounded, second chance opportunities, all these teams that have bigger guys. And Toronto, their entire team, when we played small, was bigger than ours, except for Fred VanVleet. They don't have a center. That's our matchup. That's where we make our, our stance known. We have Tony Bradley in this team, and unless he's injured and no one is telling anybody about it, I don't know why he's not even getting a single minute in this game. If he sucks for 1 minute, then take him out, but you gotta try things. I feel like we're trying and we're persisting so much on small ball that it works for 2 to 3 minutes. We get back into the game, and then we overuse it, and then we just end up getting ourselves in a tougher situation. We are overusing small ball. I'm not saying there's no place for small ball on this team. I do believe, especially when Lonzo comes back, a small ball lineup can very much work well with this team. I'm not saying don't ever use it, but don't overuse it either, and that's exactly what we're doing. So I am a bit frustrated with that. I do think Tony Bradley should get some elements of game, or just waive him and sign a center that will play as a third choice center. We have a third choice center for a reason. We've got to be able to use it. But with all that being said now, ladies and gentlemen, I guess now we turn into that must improve and that player of the game type of situation. Extremely frustrating performances all the way around. And I'm going to pick this team for not rebounding well. I'm going to give a shout out to Caruso. I'm going to give a shout out to, obviously, Nikola Vucevic, who had 12 and 11 rebounds respectively. And I think they were absolutely phenomenal on the night. And everybody else, I'm going to pick as the must improve for the lack of rebounding effort. And of course, just the overall 50-50 balls that we lost. I can't say, if you look at the statistics of this team, that everybody played poorly. That's not true. Again, when you have DeMar that's dropping 20 points because he's getting double teamed the whole night, I think that's a pretty good night for DeMar, in all honesty, the way that they were playing him. I thought Patrick Williams played okay. I thought Caruso, outside of his shooting, played very, very well. I thought Ayo had a great game. And then you move to the bench. Javonte Green, I thought, played solid. Dalen Terry played solid. Goran Dragic played very, very solid in this game. So I can't just pick out one guy for a must improve. I think our big problems today was as a team effort. It wasn't one guy that failed us in this game. It was a team effort as to why we did lose this game. So the must improve to me has to go to the whole team for, I guess, not putting in, I guess, that much of energy in terms of the offensive rebounding side and the 50-50 balls and the second chance opportunities. And even sometimes even the movement and too perimeter based. All these things are team concerns, not one player concerns. So that's where I'll probably turn my head to. My player of the game is a bit of an interesting one. I'm going to give it to Alex Caruso. That may be seen as, what the hell are you doing? The guy shot 1 from 10 or 1 from 11 from the field. 11 rebounds and 11 assists on the night. And for a team that sucked on the rebounding side and absolutely sucked in terms of, I guess, the offensive rebounds and everything like that, to see Alex Caruso, the shooting guard of this team starting today, get 11 rebounds and 11 assists tonight, absolutely carried the team, and I think his plus minus is also one of the highest on the team as well. He was making the impact. He was absolutely carrying this team, in my humble opinion. And again, I would, outside of, if it wasn't going to be given to Caruso, I would give it to Nikola Vucevic, but I do feel like it's definitely Alex Caruso's in this time. I do think he needs to shoot the ball more, or he needs to be better, more efficient. 1 from 11 is not good enough, and we know that, but I'm giving it to him based on our big problems that we saw today, and he was the only one that was really trying to change that. So fair play to Alex Caruso. If it's not him, I'd give it to Nikola Vucevic. Again, he had an 18-point, 12-rebound night alongside a 6 assists. He wasn't bad whatsoever in today's game. He shot 8 from 13 from the field, 2 from 5 from the three-point line. It could be very much be Nikola Vucevic's. If that's your player of the game, fair enough. I think both of them are pretty much neck and neck for that award. But yeah, Alex Caruso with 11 rebounds and 11 assists is absolutely sensational. And again, he played the strong defense that he needed to play. And yes, his shooting was bad, but you could probably say that for most other guys in terms of efficiency-wise. But yeah, I think he carried us in terms of playmaking and rebounding and everything like that. He made the big difference. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The Bulls, I believe, are now 5-6. We are back to a minus 500 record, and we have a chance to rectify it a day later, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, against the Toronto Raptors again. Zach LaVine should play this game. I think that has to be a big difference in the game. Pascal will probably still miss this game, and Fred VanVleet will probably still play the game as well. So Toronto Raptors will look very, very similar to how they look today. So we've got, I guess, the game plan of how that team's going to look. Now, what we've got to do is, obviously, when we add Zach LaVine, we've got to figure out our own game plans. I don't think their game plan of double-teaming Vooch and double-teaming DeMar is going to work very well when you have all three of those guys back. When you have LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic on this floor together, and you're double-teaming all three of them, guys like Ayo and Pat should have open shots every single day of the week, and they better be making them, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, we're in for another rough night. And I'm hoping, again, I'm basically at this point praying we get Andre Drummond back, because if we're not playing Tony Bradley and we're persisting on small ball, we need Andre Drummond back on this team. We absolutely need it. But I don't know when that's coming. It could be a while from now. It could be in a matter of days. I don't know. It depends on Andre Drummond, depends on his body, how he's feeling, and how his extension is with his shoulder and everything like that. And hope for the best. But I think we really need Andre Drummond. If we're not going to play Tony Bradley, I'm literally praying for Andre Drummond to come back. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Bit of a frustrating one, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people are going to be messaging about Billy Donovan as well. And yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think Andre Drummond could potentially be saving Billy Donovan's job, because if we're still persisting on small ball and we're seeing things like this happen on a consistent basis, I think small ball might cost Billy his job very soon. But not very soon. I think he's going to have pretty much most of the season. But if he persists on small ball and we're still seeing these really, really poor performances from them and overdoing small ball, that could potentially cost Billy his job. So he's got to learn from this. He can't just persist on the same things and expect us to win. It's not going to work. It's crazy to think that as well. So hopefully we can figure it out. Hopefully he can figure it out. And just give Tony Bradley 2-3 minutes at least and see what he can do. I just think things are so frustrating that we can't even see him play. Bring Marco back from the G League or something and just try something out. Try something new. You can afford 1 or 2 minutes to try something new in the team. And if it doesn't work for those 2 minutes, fair enough. At least we tried it. We can move on from it and say, maybe we just don't have the players. But come on, we've got to try it at least. Anyway, I'm overreacting now. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.